This is Kristen with Outrun Acres, and these are the first, I guess this is the first video. Oh, got a little bit of chaos in the background. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. This is my first video with my new GoPro, and I thought it'd be really fun to make some training and trimming videos to share with everybody. And the first series that I think I'm going to do are of my new horse, Shine. She's a 5-year-old Tennessee Walker, and she's had some previous training with her previous owner, just a little bit, not much, just a little bit of groundwork. So she'd been worked in the round pen before, just not by me. And so today was the first time that we did that, and she did really, really well. And the main things we were trying to accomplish while I was working with her was that I wanted to establish her going forward in one direction. And I didn't care what speed, and I didn't care for how long. I just wanted her to go forward. And as we kind of progressed through the training session, there were other things that popped up along the way, like they always do. And one of them was that I wanted her a bit further out away from me. She kept trying to cut in on all sides of the circle and wanted to be really close to me, which sometimes is great, but with this specific horse, at this moment in time, I want her out away from me a bit further. Her go-to signature move when she gets upset about something that I've seen her do just around the other horses, not to a person, but it's valuable information that I've kept in my brain, is that when she gets upset, she stops, she spins, and she kicks. And so if she gets too close to me while I'm in the round pen, and she has one of those moments with me that I've seen her have with the other horses, I don't want her to be so close to me that if she spins and kicks that she's going to make contact with any part of my body. So my original goal was I would like her to move clockwise around the round pen and to keep going if possible, but if not, then that's fine. So it kind of transitioned while I was working with her to I would like her to stay out a bit farther away from me when she's loose in the round pen, just in case. Not that I think she would do anything to harm me or anything like that, but I feel like it's just a good thing to teach her for my own safety and well-being. So those were the main two things that we worked on. And a couple things I wanted to explain that I don't think I explained very well in the video were that the cue I give her to, if she's facing me, the cue means to yield the direction that I'm giving the cue toward. And if she is already perpendicular to me, the cue means to go the direction she is already facing. So since I was trying to get her to go clockwise in the video, and we only worked on clockwise today because I want to get one direction really good before I move on to moving a different direction, which in this case would be counterclockwise. So my cue to get her to go clockwise in this video was to point with my right hand. Okay, and she gets like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and if she doesn't respond to that point by either yielding or going that direction that I'm pointing. Oh, hey Alibi. Alibi came to say hi, see what we were up to. If she does not go the direction that I was pointing, I'm going to use some sort of a tool that I am comfortable with and good at using. And for me, with this horse at this time, is a stick with a trash bag on the end of it, like an old Walmart bag tied on with a hair tie. Super advanced piece of technology for horse training. And so I will point 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then I'll come in not necessarily with escalating pressure, just some type of pressure that doesn't start off too big until she yields to that pressure. So in this case, if she was facing me, I would point 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then pressure at her shoulder to push her the direction I would like her to travel, which in this case was clockwise. So if she was perpendicular to me, it would be point 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then come in with my tool, in this case, the stick with the bag on the end, with some pressure until she went forward, and the pressure I'd be putting on her body at this time when she's perpendicular would be at her hip to drive her forward. So you can't really see that in the video I was taking, but that's what I was doing. That is kind of behind the scenes. Every once in a while you can see my stick in my bag and come into view, but that's what I was doing in the background. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to discuss. I talked a little bit about destination addiction. That will probably come up in almost every single video that I make with this horse. Destination addiction is basically the idea that the horse would like to be somewhere other than where it is. So the way that they tell us this is their body language and movement. So her friends, the other horses that I have here on my property, were behind the trees in the pasture that are sometimes in the background. And so what she was doing was she was staying real close to the panels when she was on that side of the round pen that was close to where the other horses were. And then when she got over to the far side of the round pen, she was kind of coming away from those panels and cutting in, making her circle more of like an egg shape. Just showing me, based on where she was moving while she was on that circle, that there was a draw toward where the other horses were. So it's not something I fully focus on anymore. I'm just mindful of it. I don't specifically work on it. It's just valuable information. Sometimes if I will put more pressure on a horse when they are next to the place where they would want to be, and less pressure when they're somewhere else other than where they would want to be. But I'm also finding that since I'm doing like a lot of focus work before I actually start technically training, the horses are so much more connected to me that we don't really work too much on destination addiction. They just kind of focus on me and stay connected and don't necessarily want to be anywhere else, or if they do, it's much more subtle than it used to be, the way I previously used to do things. So anyway, I think I'll wrap this up because I think those are most of the things that we went over in this first video. And basically what I achieved was consistent movement in one direction, which for this video was clockwise, and I managed to get her to stay out on the periphery of the round pen a bit more consistently. And so those are the two main things I wanted to accomplish, and I think we pretty much got it. And we'll continue to work on whatever pops up in each session. Like sometimes I go into a training session with an idea of what I want to do, and sometimes the horse has a completely different agenda than the one that I had in my mind before we started doing stuff together. So we'll just see how these sessions continue to go, and yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun little project. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Okay, so this is Shine's first time loose in the round pen with me working her. She's done some round pen work before at her previous home, but this is my first time doing it with her. And so one of the things you can see, don't mind the child in the background screaming and blowing bubbles at the horse. We have lots of distractions over here at Outrun Acres. It was funny. So what I wanted to explain that you can kind of see in this footage is as she gets onto this side of the round pen, she's been, well, of course she's not doing it right now, but in the previous clips she was cutting the circle in or cutting in on the circle, and now she's kind of switching, but all her buddies are over there. Her pasture mate Alibi is right over there behind that tree. And so what horses will hold on, I'm talking. What horses will normally do is when they want to be somewhere other than where they are, which is also called destination addiction, they will start to move their circle in the direction of where they would rather be. So she would rather be behind me right now. So see how far away from the fence she is? So she's cutting in the circle on this side, and then over on this side she's bowing out a bit. But she's also kind of starting to figure out that I am the place of no pressure. So right now she's cutting in the circle everywhere because she wants to be next to me, because she thinks that if she's next to me, she may not have to keep moving anymore. And basically all I've asked her for at this point is movement in one direction, not movement at a specific speed. I just said go clockwise. That's it. She can pick whatever speed she wants. She just has to move in that direction. So she's starting to try a couple new things right now. She's trying to figure out, I think, where the place no pressure is. So she went the wrong way, so I point the opposite direction. She didn't take the cue that I gave her to go that direction, so then I came in afterward with my bag to reinforce the cue that I gave to go that direction. So I asked her to walk, reinforce that cue with my flag. Like I said, she can go whatever speed she wants to. She just has to go that direction. But it's okay. Like, nobody needs to get mad. Like, this horse doesn't know this of training very well. So see how that time in that corner, she went to turn counterclockwise and then decided that wasn't the right answer and went back the other direction. Getting mommy, mommy, mommy in the background. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I dealt with the mommy, mommy, mommy up there on the fence. There she is, the mommy, mommy, mommy. And so basically what I'm trying to achieve in this first session is I would like her to consistently walk out going clockwise without stopping and hopefully staying on the periphery of the round pen next to where the panels are. And if we could just get one good lap, I would offer her a place to rest by walking to my right and then backing up as I'm moving to my right to try to draw her in toward me. And she may or may not take that as her wanting to come into me. So if she comes in a bit too close to me and I start to feel like I don't like that, it gives me kind of an uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. If I want to kind of push her out away from me, I'm not going to ask her to move out. I'm just going to ask her to go faster. And when she speeds up, she will automatically make her circle bigger. So I'm kind of waiting for an opportunity to see if she does that. I'm going to slow my feet down and see if she starts to suck in when I slow my feet down. She does. So I'm going to point. And with my bag, I'm going to ask her to go faster until she breaks into a different gait. And see how as soon as she sped up, she moved straighter and her circle got much bigger. So that's something I do to get my horses to move out away from me when they are too close. So I'm going to do it again right here. I'm going to point. If she doesn't break gait, I'm going to use my bag to reinforce that cue. She goes forward, the circle gets bigger, and that's exactly what I wanted. And we'll just keep letting her do this until she starts to figure out where there's pressure and where there's not. So she moves in, I'm going to point until she speeds up into a different gait. And she can drop out of the gate, that doesn't matter. But see how much bigger my circle is again? Which is exactly what I wanted, so I'm going to leave her alone. And that's not bad. That's a little too far in for me right now, but it's much better than it was. Now she's cutting both sides off, so I'm going to point. If she doesn't break into a new gate, I'm going to use my flag until she does. There, now she's a little bit farther away from me again. So she comes in too far. I'm going to do that again. She moves out farther away from me again. If she comes in closer or stops, I'm going to ask her to go again. She comes in too close. I'm going to ask her to speed up, or at least at the minimum put some pressure on her till she makes her circle bigger. Same thing there. Want her to make her circle bigger. So in the beginning I wasn't picky whatsoever. I said I just want you to go in that direction. Now I'm getting a little bit more detailed with what I would like from her. I'm asking for a little bit more now. I said, yes, go that direction. And I want to pair that with, I want you to stay out away from me a bit more. because this horse's go-to, if she gets upset about something, is a spin and a kick. And so one of the first things I want to be able to do is help teach her to maintain her distance from me, so that if she does get to a point where she feels the need to spin and kick, she is far enough away from me that she would never make contact with my body. So she's a little bit of a spaghetti-legged horse right now because we haven't done much training yet. And she wants to be trotty rather than pacey. And I'm obviously not working on gait at this moment in time. I want to get relaxed forward before I get anything else. But we're starting to see a few moments of her choosing to pick up a flat-footed walk. And I kind of wanted to catch it on video in case she does it again. So that's her moving in an extended walk. It's not quite a flat-footed walk. Now she's in a trot. We'll see if she chooses to find it on her own. Almost. That's a trot. There. One or two strides of it. There we go. That's almost it again. It's right in between her really moving out at a walk and a trot. There we go. That was a tiny bit of it. There, she's having a lick and a chew. So I'm not asking her for a gait, I'm just letting her find it if she wants to, and there was a few strides of it right there. So walk. There's a little bit. There's a little bit. So the more relaxed she gets during this training session, the easier it is for her to find her gait, which is kind of cool. Should have videoed that part, but I just drew her to a stop and she was ready for it, and she came in right away, and as soon as she stopped she immediately started having a bit of a lick and a chew. And I'm just gonna let her rest here for probably almost as long as she was working for, because how long they rest for is usually determined by me by how long it took them to find some of the right answers we were looking for. And it took her quite a while to figure out how to go clockwise and then keep going clockwise. So she's going to get quite a long period of time here to let that marinate in her brain and to find some relaxation before I ask her to do anything else. Oh, yeah, we're almost done. What, Rye? Lock what door?
You locked the tent.
Yes. So she backs up, so I'm gonna back away from her. I know, but you gotta stay there.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Sorry, baby girl. Training with children. I'm gonna look at her feet and offer my hand. Very good. Then I'm gonna back away. I don't want to stare at her in the face or at her body or anything, because it was too much pressure for her. Like, she's a very dominant horse, but she's also a very sensitive horse. And so if she starts to shrink away and retreat from me when I'm approaching her, I need to get smaller and retreat myself to help draw her in. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And then I want her to kind of stop, like how she did with her feet, kind of push back away from me, not get really close to me with her body before she stops. Then I want her to reach for me with her nose and extend and telescope her neck out, kind of like offering connection instead of just moving into my space real fast and not asking, just barging in. Like, that's not really the type of relationship I want to have with my horses. I want them to want to come in for connection, but I want them to ask with their body language to make sure that I would like them that close to me, because I feel like them being cognizant of that part of our relationship is very important, because it's two-sided, right? The word is relationship. So it's not all about the horse and it's not all about the human. It's about both of us and our connection between us in the environment that we're in. So that was very cool. I think I'm going to stop right there. Very good, Miss Shine.